Very first podcast. We are recording on the goddamn. Can you give me a test?
A test.
You got to get closer to it.
Test.
Okay, we're recording on the camera. We're recording on the fucking mics. 3, 2, 1 for reference. What's up, heavy hitters and low high nows? Welcome to the very first episode of the podcast that doesn't have a name yet. Hopefully, by the time we put this out, it'll have a name. We're contemplating a few. But this is a podcast with me and my... We got to start over, but it's fine. At 21 seconds.
Why?
Because I fucked up. What's up, heavy hitters and low high nows? Welcome to... What's up, heavy hitters and low high nows? Welcome to the very first episode of the motherfucking podcast that does not have a name yet, but hopefully by the time we put this out, it'll have a dope-ass name that everyone will love. And if not, fuck you. This is going to be a podcast about everything and anything. We're going to be controversial. We're going to say some not politically correct shit, and if it offends you, fuck you. You might hear some whining. That's our dog, Kilitona, in the crate, because if we let him out, he'll probably be insane.
He's a bad boy.
He's the bestest of boys. So, I would like to formally introduce my co-host, or our first guest on the podcast that'll probably be on this podcast the most, my lovely future wife, fiancé, Jordan Page.
Hello, everyone.
And she has sunglasses on for no good reason.
I like the way they look. I think they look good.
She looks beautiful in anything she wears. Messy bun, everything. And
thank you.
This podcast is sponsored by Local Clothing. It's actually a clothing brand that I started, and you could check it out. We're going to do a couple giveaways. This is our first podcast. We're going to fuck up. We're going to stutter. We're going to be fucking all goofy because we've never been in front of a camera and with a microphone in our mouth.
I'm shy.
Jordan's shy, a.k.a. minus the S, add a H.
Yep, that's it.
Okay, babe, so let's get it going. I think the best way to do the very first podcast is talk about us, where we're from, how this started, where we are, where we came from, and where we're going.
Okay, you go first.
Okay, so my name is Ese Loco, or like my mother calls me, Fermin, or my friends call me Furman. I am 24 years old, I think, and I'm about to turn 25 here in a month. I come from a smaller town outside of Chicago. I was born in Aurora, and I moved out of Illinois because it fucking sucks, and I hated it. There's nothing left there for me. But, Jordan, let them know where you're from and where you came from.
Hello, my name is Jordan. Jordan Page. I'm from an even smaller town.
Smaller
than Furman.
For real, though.
It's called Braidwood.
No, it's crazy, though, because growing up, I was like, yo, like, we live in a small-ass town. And I think, like, when I was in high school, it was like 28,000, 30,000, and now saying that is goofy. But going to college and meeting people that are from actual small towns, I was like, wow, I can only imagine, because when you're in high school, it feels like everyone knows everyone's business, right?
Yes.
And there was about like 800, 900 people in our graduating class. And it felt like everyone knew everything about everyone.
Yeah. And my town is 6,000 people, and everyone knew everything about each other, from even the other like small towns
like
around
the surrounding
us.
towns.
Yeah.
How many people were in your graduating class?
115 people.
115 people, and I'm over here saying that I come from a small town.
Yeah. Like everyone I grew
crazy.
up with I knew them from like preschool. Literally, I grew up with everyone.
Well, yeah, I feel like most people do, but I feel like it's different because did you guys like date the same people?
Yes.
Like everyone dated everyone.
Yeah.
And that's how it was for us, but I just can't put it in perspective, or for you guys out there that are from super small towns. There's 6,000 people in your town. Where was the closest Walmart?
It was in Joliet, so 25 minutes away.
Okay, so not terrible, but I I was born in Aurora, which is the second biggest town or city in Illinois of 200,000 people. And then it was like, I guess you could call it the hood, but it's not like the South Side Chicago hood. It's still like, and then my mom moved us out of there. She took a leap and moved us to Montgomery. They built a new house because things were good. And that was a smaller town than Oswego, but I went to Oswego School District, which was a predominantly white like area, I guess. And yeah, that's just crazy because I had a Walmart like literally I could throw a baseball twice and hit the Walmart from my house. And you had to drive 25 minutes. I remember when I first visited her before, like when we started dating, she had the only grocery store in her town was like a fucking Walgreens. It was smaller than a Walgreens. What was it called?
Burkotts.
So what is it? Burkotts. And that's just crazy because you guys had like 2 gas stations and a Burkotts.
And a Casey's. Shout
out Casey's. Please, we want to be sponsored and we want to open a location in Texas. So if you're listening to this, which I know, we know that you are, we want to fucking open one down here. So let's make it happen.
Yes. Their gluten-free pizza's the best.
Okay. Keep telling them about where you come from and all that so I can let Quiliton out. Maybe the camera can see him because he's crying and I'm sure that the fucking microphone's picking it up.
I don't know what to say. Kili. Hi, puppy.
This is Quilitona, everybody.
Crazy Kili.
Okay, so go ahead.
We just got his DNA test back today.
Yes. Oh, we're introducing everyone in our life here.
Yeah.
Okay, so just real quick on Quilitona. His real name is Kili, and that name comes from
The Hobbit.
The Hobbit, the movie. It's the dwarves, the 2 brothers, Kili and Fili. Kili dies in it, spoiler alert. And she had never seen them before, and she came to visit me while I was living here in Texas, is where we live now. Mm-hmm. And she was in Illinois, and when we were watching those movies. And we loved that name, and I really wanted a pit bull. Okay, so
you know what he wanted to name him? He wanted to name our dog Cooter.
Come on. Cooter is a fucking sick, nasty perro name.
Cooter. Who names their dog that?
Cooter. It should have been Cooter.
Thank God we didn't go with.
Anyway, he's scratching his ear. He loves that shit. That's like me when I scratch my ear, dude. I go. Anyways, I wanted a pit bull, a blue-nosed pit bull, real bad. We're all over the place, but I love it. Welcome to the first episode of the fucking podcast, ladies and gentlemen, of the podcast that doesn't have the goddamn.
The goddamn, yeah.
No, that might be the name. The goddamn. Hey, get off. He's looking at the camera like, what the fuck is this transformer? Anyways, I used to be deathly terrified of dogs because when I was a young kid, I stuck my head in like a screen door that like lifted up, and a German Shepherd bit my fucking forehead. It literally bit my forehead and took a chunk out of my forehead. Thank God I don't have a scar because, Mexican remedies work. But I was deathly terrified of dogs. And then my friend Jake, we won't say his last name for privacy reasons. I'm kidding. Fuck you guys. Got a blue-nosed pit bull, and he was like he looks like fucking a beefy motherfucker, all scary and shit. And I met him, and he was jumping on me. I was like, Jake, get this motherfucker off me. And then the more I got to know him, he's like the sweetest dog ever. And
wait, Herc or
yeah,
the other one?
Herc. His name is Herc. He's a blue-nosed pit bull, Herc, and he's fucking jacked. When he eats, his head muscles flex.
He's so cute.
But it just goes to show, like, pit bulls have such a bad name, and they're so vicious, and they fucking attack people. And no, I met Herc, and he changed the way I looked at dogs forever. We went on a lot of trips, like, to Colorado and shit, and Herc would sleep with me, and he was just such a good dog. He's such a lover boy, isn't he? Every time he comes over, he cuddles with her.
Yes, he loves me.
He loves bitches. But yeah, anyways, he's the reason why, like, changed dogs for me, and I was like, I really want a blue-nosed pit. And I got one from Craigslist.
Yeah.
For $150, and they're like, yeah, they're fucking they're blue-nosed pit bulls and whatever, right? And he started growing up, and I was like, this dude doesn't look full pit. Like, I don't know.
He looks like he has lab in him. So we literally thought he was like a pit bull lab.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what we thought. We're like, oh, bet, because he's got like long hair on his butt, and
And
pit
he's
bulls
tall.
are like bald almost. Not really, but they have like really like
What
no
is he
hair.
eating? Oh my
Anyways,
gosh.
so we were always wondering, and always guessing. So Jordan's sister bought us a DNA test for him for Christmas, and it finally came back after 3 weeks or something like that. And these were his top 5 breeds. He's 27% American Pit Bull Terrier, which you can tell in his face. 19% Australian Cattle Dog. I'll go more into that after this. 12% American Staffordshire Terrier, which is just like a purebred pit bull, so like the original pit bull. So those two together are like 39% pit bull. So we're going to round up and say 40% pit bull. 8% Great Pyrenees, which is a fluffy ass big white dog, and 5% boxer. And he had a little sprinkle of like 5% German Shepherd, 3% Siberian Husky, and my favorite, 2% Chihuahua. But yeah.
He is a Chihuahua.
And the reason why we're like, we need to know what he is because he had so much energy. Like when Herc came to visit my buddy's pit bull, he would not give it a rest. Like he would chase after Herc nonstop. And we're like, oh, he's like, we used to say he was part coyote. He was part coyote
dog.
But we found out that he's a cattle dog, which makes sense on why he has so much goddamn energy.
Yeah, he's insane. He just does not stop.
Yeah.
Literally ever.
Literally no stop in him. Unless he eats a whole bowl of food and then he takes a little nap. Hey, stop it, you two. We also have a cat. He's very fat. His name is Benson.
Benjamin.
His real name is Benny, but we call him a bunch of things. He's a Maine Coon.
And the
he's
cutest
big as
kitty
hell.
ever.
And him and Keely have been getting after it.
I adopted him in college when he was
What
just
year?
a little boy. What year was that? 2018.
Yeah, that's why he's my stepchild.
No. Don't start this.
He is. He's my stepchild because Jordan had other boyfriends. Then.
I had other boyfriends, but not when I got him. I was a single mother when I got him.
Yes.
To heal a broken heart.
Yeah. So I guess we could please. Hey, we're recording here, kid. Give it a rest, please. That's what I'm talking about. All go, no breaks. All gas, no breaks. Anyway, so let's talk about how we met and our relationship and how fucking crazy it is that we're here. Literally, we're in.
It really is. It's been crazy. A crazy ride for us.
Crazy. You want to go like the whole story? We'll just leave out names.
Well, it's a very long story.
It is, and that's why we're on a podcast.
Okay.
For that exact same reason.
Okay, let's get at it.
Where do we start?
It all started when we worked at. So we went to Western Illinois University.
Go next, baby. The number one party school in America, and fuck you if you think otherwise.
Keely.
This is why he needed to be in the crate. He's over here choking, sounding like a goose.
Anyways, so Western Illinois University is in Macomb, Illinois, which is...
Shout out Leathernecks, baby.
Which is literally...
It's like by Peoria.
Yeah.
It's out west. It's west, like the whole drive there is cornfields.
Like it's literally cornfields.
Yeah.
That's where it is. It's a very small town, and there's a bar called the Forum, and...
Shout out Roger Ward.
And Furman started before I did. What year was that?
I was a bouncer, I guess. It sounds douchey to say bouncer, but I was a security guard at the Forum because my brother worked there. Shout out Ben. He got me the job. I was nervous to start, because I wasn't like a big dude or nothing. And I started working there, but I didn't know she worked there.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
You started like a couple weeks before I did.
Yeah.
Like
There's
a
an
month or
event.
two
There's an
before.
event there called Around the World where it's like the biggest event in town. And I started about like 3 weeks before that. So like February of 2019.
I started in March. So you started like 2 months before
in
me.
2019, right?
Yeah.
Or did I start in 2018?
I don't know. Anyways, so I was a shot girl when I started. So basically, I just walked around and I carried shots.
Like a tray of,
tray of shots.
Tube shots.
Yeah. And they were $1 each. So I did that for a couple months. And then I was promoted to a bartender.
I worked ball check is what we called it for 3 months because the new guy has to do ball check, which is like pat downs. It was like one of the only bars that does pat downs.
Yeah.
For like weapons and drugs and shit.
Yeah, they look in your purse and shit. It's because it's huge.
It's literally humongous. It's 3 stories.
Yeah.
It used to be the Illinois Theater. History fact check right there.
Yeah. So anyways, we started.
But we didn't know the first full year. We started second semester, which is why it's February, obviously. And we didn't know that I guess she knew I worked there, but I didn't know that she worked there. Like, I never knew of her. I mean, I knew of her because she was in a sorority. We'll leave the names out. And I was in an organization. I was in a church group.
Yeah.
But I didn't know, I didn't know she worked there or anything. Like, I never saw her. I was always up front. I never got to, like, roam around and be, like in
just,
the mix. Yeah, I was in front ball checking people in.
Yeah. And then, so I started bartending. And I remember.
I was also, like, chubby and had long-ass hair, like rock star hair.
Yeah.
We'll pop a picture up.
Yeah. And I didn't really know. I didn't really know much about him. I heard some bad things because my sorority sisters.
Because your boy was in there, out there, in there, like swimwear.
Yeah, and so I kind of only knew, like, bad things about him. That he was, like, a player, and...
Not me.
He
Mom.
just didn't really care about...
Ask my mom. I'm a godsend.
He just didn't really care about anything.
I still don't.
So I just, like, that's kind of all I knew about him. And then we started working together, and I actually got to, like, start knowing
This was
he
my second senior year of college. Is when it was 2019, I guess. It was 2019, 2020.
Yeah.
I was
It
only
was
in school for one more semester. It was my victory lap year, my second senior year, a 5th year senior. Shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out the church group I was a part of.
Funny.
But yeah, I stayed in Macomb for the whole summer. I had a commercial mowing job. Shout out Dave. Shout out Dave. That's the boy. The guy, the man, actually.
He's a man.
He's just a country farmer with leather skin that's worked in the sun his whole life. And those are the type of people you get advice from. But anyways, yeah, I worked there in the summer. I would wake up at like 7 a.m., mow until 5 p.m., and then go to the gym. And then I did that for literally the whole summer. And a week before summer, I cut all my long hair off. So I came back to school like, yo.
He was looking brand new.
I was brand new. I was a different guy. I never went there before.
I was like, who is this guy?
Yes. But I wasn't talking to anybody or nothing like that. Previously, I was fucking around with her sorority sisters.
Sisters.
Yeah. See? Good relationship here. We can joke about it because we all been through something. But yeah, I remember the very first time that we like interacted, you asked me to hold your tray of shots.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I'm going to do this because this little shorty bad as hell.
Yeah. I asked him to hold it because I had to get like money out of
or
the apron.
Go to the bathroom or something.
Yeah, it was something.
Some excuse for her to talk to me because she wanted this piece of meat too.
Yeah. But I also like kind of knew like whenever we got back to school and we were working again, his friends would be like, hey, like Furman like likes you or Furman thinks you're like hot or like
shout out Murph.
Yeah.
Shout out Murph.
Just like random things just to get my attention. And I loved it. But I was just like, no, like I can't talk to him because
there's some unwritten rule in the sorority cult.
Yeah, because
that you can't fucking.
Yeah. My sorority sister was like literally in love with him but they weren't together at that point. Like she literally had a full ass like boyfriend at the time.
Yeah.
But I was still scared because I was like a good person. I didn't want to hurt her feelings,
It was a tricky situation.
Yeah, because she was my friend, but they were like talking, but it, like she had a boyfriend, so I was just like, oh my, like maybe this is like my time. But I was terrified, so I literally did not tell anyone,
right.
not even my best friends.
I was pushing the cards, man. I wanted it. Like I never tried for somebody so bad or so hard. It was just like, I played the game right though. I played the game right. Every time I would try to talk to her or whatever, and she'd be like, no, because she was scared like somebody would tell something. Because the unwritten sorority rule is what it was, basically, right?
Yeah, you
And
know,
she didn't-
girl code. You know, you can't. You're not supposed to talk to someone your friend used to like, your sorority
Right,
sister
but they
used to
weren't best
like.
friends, and I don't understand. I was like, fuck that.
It's because I'm a good person and I care about people.
She is a really, really good person. She was hurt the whole time because those bitches treated her like shit. But fuck them. Look where we are now. We'll get there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So anyways, we started like talking more and more, and he would like at work he would come and like talk to me more.
I'd give her the eyes.
Yeah.
I would talk to her any chance I got.
Yeah. But like I still wasn't like really into it. Like I was into it, but like
She was low key into it.
I was really low key into it, but like I wasn't to the point where I'm like I want people to know about this, because like I didn't know where it was gonna go. Like I wasn't sure if it was just gonna be like a hookup or like what.
Right. And then I cracked the code. Fellas, pay attention. I didn't have her on Snapchat. I didn't have her number, but we had like a forum Snapchat group, and like you can add people from there or whatever. But one night we would always stay after we cleaned up our stations and security cleaned up the bar and took the garbage out. We would stay around the main bar and like talk and drink and stuff. And so I got to talking to her, and then she let me know that she had celiac disease. Shout out my gluten-free goddess.
Thank you.
And I was like, I wasn't acting like I was so into it. I actually was intrigued. I was like, oh my God, like that sucks so bad. Like you gotta like eat like different than us. Like you have to like, I don't know. She had to go through a bunch of more shit to fucking eat normal food. Like she can't eat normal shit. She can't eat
gluten.
Gluten, like bread and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And I was like, at the end, I somehow snuck in and I was like, oh, okay, bet. Like, I'm going to add everybody. But really, I just wanted to add her, but I didn't want to make it weird. So I was like, bet. And then I got her, and she added me back. And then I Snapchatted her, and she didn't snap back. I was like, bet. I told DeBoer, shout out Debo. He lived across the hall from me and our church group.
Church group.
And I was like, dude, she didn't Snapchat back. He's like,
it's because I was so nervous. One of like someone was gonna find out. Like someone would see his name come up on like my phone, or you know, like it's a sorority house. Right. We all lived together. Like, you know, you never know who could see.
Right. And then this is like a little blurry from there, but then she finally started Snapchatting back, or whatever. But at the time, she was talking to some young kid or whatever. And then one weekend, I saw her post a Snapchat of her like in bed with him, and she like leaned over and kissed him on the cheek. I was like, bet, I'm done with this. I'm done with it. I'm about to go crazy. Cause I wanted her, like I said, like I went after it. Fellas, don't be afraid to show what you got, son. Like get after it, right? Yeah. So I was like, bet, I'm about to play this perfect. She was working upstairs. On the second floor, there was a bar.
It was called The Balcony.
Right, and this other girl came from like another town to come fuck with your boy. And I played this perfect. So I was like to the side, and I was flirting with both of them. So that she could see. Because I wanted her to know that I still got that.
I was making drinks, just looking at him, shaking my head. I was like, I cannot believe this man is doing this in front of me.
And the key was I didn't look at her once. I didn't look at her.
I was
talking to those girls, like exaggerating the motions, like being Rico Suave in the joint.
Yeah, and I just had to sit there and watch, make drinks, try not to react.
And another key was I didn't go up to her after.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
I didn't go up to her. And then what happened from there? We like went home, and then you started Snapchatting me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think it was right after
that.
Because I was like,
flipped him.
Oh, like that's exactly what happened. Yeah.
Forget about him, and they'll come crawling.
So then I was actually like snapping him, but I changed his name in my phone.
Wait, we got to get back into that.
Yeah.
So, whatever. Like we were Snapchatting, and I was like, yes, I got her. Like the bait worked. Because it did. It really did work. She was Snapchatting me nonstop. So, like, that night at work, I want to say it was a Friday night. Maybe a Saturday night. Mm-hmm. Whatever it was. I went up to her bar. She was working upstairs again. And I was like, I was shooting this shit, like, flirting with her, whatever. And she's like, you're going to get me in trouble tonight.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, sheesh, I'm going to get you in trouble tonight. I was like, I am going to get you in trouble tonight. So at the end of the night, me and the boys at security, Murph Walker, shout out the boys. We always stayed after till like 6 a.m. getting hammered drunk. And that night, I still stayed, but I didn't get as drunk as usual. Jaeger bombs is what was our choice.
So
Both of them were eating out of the things, but yeah. So
that night, I was like, I was like, you're gonna get me in trouble tonight, and then that night,
the whole day at work, I was like, I'm gonna get in trouble tonight.
Yeah, and then that night, we cleaned up, and I was getting ready to leave, and I was like walking out with one of the girls I worked with, and because she was bringing me home, and I'm walking out, and Furman looks at me, and what do you say?
Like low key though, because nobody was looking. I was like I'm gonna call you, and she's like, and turned away and walked out real quick.
I was like, stop it, like, I was like, I'm literally right next to someone.
Yeah.
So whatever, I get home and I was so tired because the bar,
asleep.
the bar closed at 2. So by the time I got home, it was like 2:30.
And by the time I called her, it was like 5 a.m.
Yeah, it was 5 a.m.
I called her and I was like, yo, like, I'm going to come over. And she's like, no, like, you're not going to come over. And she's like, we're not going to do anything. And
I was literally asleep. So I was like, no way I'm about to let this man come over. I was dead asleep.
And she's like, we're not going to do anything. I was like, who said anything about doing anything?
Yeah.
She's like, oh, fine. And in my head, I was like, yes, sir. And then I had DiMartino. Shout out DiMartino. He was sober and he drove me. But I had him drop me off at home first because I wore boots and I didn't know if they were going to smell or something. So I went home, changed my socks, put different shoes on. And I could literally throw a baseball from my house to where she lived. Mm-hmm. So I walked over there and I called her. I was like, which house is it? Because I had never been there. But in my church brother lived in front of her. And she's like, oh, I live behind so-and-so. I was like, oh, okay. Like, open the front door so I know where you are. And then she let me in. Keely, stop it. They've been fighting. They've been fighting each other.
Keely literally has been wanting to eat Benny. They got into it the other day.
Anyways, so she let me in and like she walked me upstairs. She's like, you got to be quiet because she lived.
Yeah, my roommate. I had 2 roommates and one was at a wedding and the other one.
Shout out Bree.
Yeah, and the other one was. Like we don't talk anymore, but she like lived down there.
Yeah, we'll leave her name out.
we weren't friends, so I definitely did not want her to know like
because then the gossip would start. Like she would tell other people.
She was also one of my sorority sisters. So then I was just like, literally, she cannot find out. I was like, you have to be so quiet. And she lived in the basement, and I lived up on the 2nd floor. And so he comes over.
Get in the bathroom.
We go. I like let him go in my room and I don't what happened after that. We were just talking about life.
So yeah. So we were laying in bed and we were just talking and then I was like, kiss me. And she's like, no. And leans over and kisses me. And then we like fell asleep because we were just talking. We did not hook up on the first night.
We did not. I was not about to have it. I was like,
yeah, me neither.
He so would have if I would have given it.
I'm thankful that we didn't because I feel like our relationship would be in a different place.
Yeah. We literally
because it wasn't about that. I didn't want to just hit it and quit it. I wanted to hit it and get with it.
Yeah, and we just talked all night, and he told me that the first night he ever came over.
Yes, I did.
He told me he had a son.
I did, my little cousin.
Yeah.
Shout out Juanpi.
And I was like, no way. But then he showed me all of these pictures, like a bunch of pictures he had with with JP. And I was just like, oh my God. In my head, I'm like, I'm about to be a stepmom.
She was about that life.
I was
didn't
like, fine.
Didn't you tell Bree? Didn't you?
Yeah. But Bree didn't even, no one knew you stayed over until that next day. So
wait, the story about Roscoe.
Yeah.
So Bree had a little Shih Tzu dog. What was it?
Yorkie.
A Yorkie.
His name's Cody.
And she was taking care of him because she was at a wedding.
Yeah, Bree was at a wedding.
So he slept in the bed with us, and he slept on my arm, like on this arm with the tattoos. And she took a picture and sent it to him. And whenever I met a dog then, I'd be like, oh, Roscoe. Like I would call every dog Roscoe.
Yeah. And
that's why she changed my name in her phone to Roscoe.
So no one knew.
She didn't want my name to pop up because I only met one other Furman besides me, and that was my father. Rest in peace. But there's no other Furman, so everyone would know if they saw her phone.
Yeah, and it was during homecoming week too. Like that's when we first started.
That next weekend was homecoming.
Yeah, and I was at my sorority house. We were doing the dancer V show, and so like my phone was out obviously, and I was around a
Yeah,
bunch
like
of sorority,
practice,
like my
practice.
sorority sisters.
Wait, backtrack real quick. So we stayed. Sorry, this is important because it's kind of funny too. So I stayed the night. We fell asleep, and it's like fucking 7 a.m. Like 2 hours after, maybe 3 hours after 8 a.m. I get a tap on my chest.
I was tapped. I tapped him to wake him
my
up.
contacts in. I'm like, what? What? She's like, you need to go before my roommate wakes up. I was like, are you fucking serious?
Yeah, I was
it's
like
8 a.m., 7 a.m. right now.
I was like, excuse me, like you need to leave.
Like, what am I gonna do? I'll argue with her on the first night? And I was like, no, all right, fine. And then I'm like,
I didn't want him to leave, obviously.
You never said that before.
Why? I didn't want you to leave.
So I'm walking. I'm like 30 yards away from her house. And I was like, fuck, I left my Apple Watch. So I called her. I was like, I left my Apple Watch running down to me. And I was like, at the front door.
Mad.
And she opened her door. She's like, why are you on the front? Why are you on the porch?
Yeah,
I was like, I need my Apple Watch.
Yeah, because we had a front and back porch. So I made him go out the back, but he went onto the front porch. I'm like, you know how many people can see you right now?
Yeah. And then I got my Apple Watch and I walked home. And on the way home, my professor was walking his dog next to me, and I was fucking hungover with my security bright yellow shirt on still.
Walk of shame.
Walk of shame. My walk of shame that wasn't a shame, though. We didn't even do nothing. We just talked.
Yeah.
And then I got home, and Debo's door was open. I was like, why the fuck are you up right now? He was like, he stopped going out because it was his second senior year, too. And I was like, yo, I slept over, dog. He's like, no. And then that was that. I think I went to bed and slept till 3 p.m. the next day.
Yeah.
And then that's where it all started. We started being exclusive, literally. And we didn't even say we were dating or nothing. We just started being exclusive, literally.
And then that's when I told Brie, because I sent her that picture of Cody on her arm, and I just sent it to her. I didn't I had no context. I just sent her a screenshot, and she was just like, no fucking way. I was like, because she knew, she kind of had a feeling, we were Snapchatting here and there, but that's when it was solidified that it was me and him.
It was weird. It was like an unwritten rule. We were just all right, we're fucking with each other exclusive now.
Yeah. It was just because it was a connection. You can't
when
can't
you know
it.
And I wasn't like that. I was like, it's bad to say, but I was like, fuck bitches. I'm not gonna. I had bad experience with past relationships and shit. But Jordan changed me, and we're going to talk about that on another episode, deep dive into what works for us and maybe what can help people out there. But we're still going to continue with our story, that. It's literally, that's how it was. It was like a spark, a connection. We were just all right, we're just fucking with each other. Mm-hmm. And that weekend was like I said earlier, that next weekend was homecoming weekend, and she had to go to a wedding for her cousin.
Yeah.
Shout out Ariel and Luke.
Yeah, my cousin was getting married, and I was so nervous because I knew that we were that it was me and him, but I also I still had all of these past things that I heard about him, I didn't know if I was gone what that meant, if he was actually going to be true to just me, or if he was going to fuck around.
Some
with
are true.
else.
I'm not gonna front. We keep it 100 on this podcast. I was Snapchatting, talking to other girls, but after that I literally stopped. Literally I stopped after that.
Yeah, when I it was when I got home from the wedding, and I was you didn't do anything with anyone, right?
No, I didn't.
And he told me no, and then I was just okay, this is for real then.
Yeah, it was. That was definitely for real. I had a lot of fun. I was drunk the whole time.
Yeah. So, but what happened after that?
After that, we just started. The boys hated me after that because I stopped staying after at the bar. Because Jordan would be like, no, I wanted you to come home. And I wanted to go home with her too because I was moving to Texas.
Yeah. Wait, we're missing a part.
What
the
part?
whole beginning. That no one knew still. We were talking for real, and you were coming over, but no one knew besides Bree.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, what am I doing?
Yeah.
It's because it happened quickly, I guess. But I would always want to hang out with her. My way of trying to go over to her house, because I lived in a church house. I lived in a church house, and there wasn't really areas to hang out. It was just all rooms. You obviously know. She was in a sorority. I was in a church group. And I would always try to go over there because she lived in an apartment, like a nice apartment. She had a nice ass couch, and I was like, let's watch the Bears game on Sunday. That was my way to try to get over there every Sunday to watch the goddamn Bears game.
Yeah. But I didn't want anyone to know that we were even talking because I didn't want my sorority sisters to find out. I was literally so scared, so I didn't tell anyone. And like I said, I'm a very nice person. I hate confrontation, so like that's why I didn't tell anyone. I didn't want to have to deal with that. And
so yeah, we would just sneak it. We would sneak it all the time. Like I wouldn't come over till late. Mm-hmm. And it was like probably like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And we were just like, fuck it.
Yeah.
No. Because I was like, fuck it. Like, who cares? Because I'm a person that doesn't give a fuck. Yeah. If you know me, I don't give a fuck what people think. And I was trying to like get her on that. Like, who cares? Like, eventually they're going to know. And she got all real. She's like, we're not going to do this if you can't respect it. I was like, shorty, chill out. Like, don't get real with me. I don't fuck with that.
Well, I was like, if you truly want this to work, then like you're gonna have to respect that. Like I need time to figure out.
But I was like, why you get all serious like that? I was like, don't get all serious like this. Isn't. I'm not that. I'm a happy guy.
Yeah, and he's just made me realize that a lot of things don't matter, and that's what helped. So we were like talking whatever for 2 weeks, and then we ended up going on fall break. And then
and I asked her. I was like, we should go on a date. Like, I want to take you on a date. And so we lived like 40 minutes away from each other. I lived in Oswego. Well, my mom had already given up the house because we were moving to Texas, so she was living with my aunt. Shout out Nani. And I was just like, why don't we just ride home together? And like we got to know each other a lot more on that ride because, like I said, we were sneaking it. Like we were only like texting and shit. Like we weren't hanging out like a lot. So I was like, will you give me a ride home? I'll fill your gas tank. And I filled her gas tank there and back. And she dropped me off at Nani's. And then she picked me up for the first date.
Yeah.
Because I left my car at school because I wanted to ride home with her to get, like, to talk more. And we did that.
No, your car wasn't working or something.
No, it was.
The Z?
Yeah, it was. It was working.
I think you told me it wasn't. So it was like I needed to bring him.
No, I think I was selling it to Murph because I was getting my truck at that point.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was. But, no, I had a Nissan 350Z. That was a fucking ricer. That bitch was fast as fuck. If you saw me at Western in a gray little 350Z and you didn't want to race, fuck you. But yeah, and then I took her on a first date. I wanted to go to Mongolian Grill. I was like, we're going to Mongolian Grill. And she's like, oh, what if we go to Empire?
It's because I am a very picky person.
Right,
so
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I was so scared to like say that. So I was like,
she switched the script on me. She's like, let's just go to Empire.
I was like, oh my
God.
God.
What I'm going to say. It's
like,
the first date.
I was like, oh my God, have you ever been to Empire? I was like, it's so good. Like, we have to go. And then he was like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
But
what am I? I'm not going to argue with her on the first date.
I was so scared to try it.
So we went to Empire, and then I was like, I like took a picture of her. I was like, should I story this? And what'd you say?
I was like, fuck it.
Yeah, you're like, fuck it. And I was like, finally. Fuck it, let's go. I was like the side dude. That's how I felt. She was treating me like a side dude. I was like, finally.
Yeah.
I posted her. Not fucking 5 minutes later.
I got so many texts from my sorority sisters just being like, what the fuck?
One of the sorority sisters texted her, is like, didn't you tell so and so that you weren't gonna talk to him?
Yeah.
I was like, why does it fucking matter to you? Why does it matter to that bitch that said that? Like, it's stupid ass shit like that doesn't matter in life.
Yeah. Which is so funny now, like, to think about it. Like, it was
go like this real quick. That's why it doesn't matter, you dumb bitches.
And it's not like fuck, I lost my train of thought.
It doesn't matter that they were talking. Like, they texted her literally not even 5 minutes after I posted that story, and they were like, "Why? Oh, you're with Furman."
But it's funny now because, like, to think back on it, it's like, wow, like, why was I so, like, why did I let them treat me like that?
She wasn't like that before.
Yeah, I was not. And so they were texting me all these, like, mean things and whatever, and I was just like, at that point, I was just like, I'm so over it. Like,
they were acting like literal mean girls.
Yeah. It was bad. Like I was so upset. Like I literally
She was.
I wanted to leave school. Like it was bad.
And I was like, this is my fault, like,
Yeah.
the whole time. And she's like, no, it's not. But literally, it was my fault because,
Yeah.
but we wanted to do, I wanted her. Like, I knew. Like,
Yeah.
when you know, you know. And I didn't know what love was. Like, I thought I did. I had past relationships. We said, I love you, whatever. But, like, I knew. Like, she showed me what real love was, for real. Not right away.
you.
Like, obviously, but, like, now that we live together, we've been together almost 3 years now.
Yeah.
But, like, if I could go back, I would just like to formally say, fuck you bitches. And I mean that wholeheartedly. Because how shitty is your life that you care about another person's relationship, you have to put them down?
Yeah. And the
Hey, right
the
here,
fucked up
to all
thing-
5 of you or however many it was.
the fucked up thing about like the whole situation was that like the girl who literally loved Furman, she had a boyfriend like the entire time. Like that's what's like so fucked up is that that her and all of her friends made me feel like shit, and she had a whole boyfriend at the time.
And she never said anything to
Yeah,
Jordan.
and
It was only her friends saying
Yeah,
shit to her.
She never said one word to me because she knew she couldn't. 'Cause she had a boyfriend, so she let all of her friends say it to me. And I had so many opportunities to tell her boyfriend, like, be like, hey, like this is what she's doing to you, and I didn't. Like, and I could have, but I didn't because I was a good person. And he was a very good person. And I was like, I'm not going to do that to him. I mean, looking back now, I probably should have because, like, you know, she cheated on you. But, oh, shit.
That's fine.
But, yeah, I mean, it was just fucked up. But now look at us.
Exactly.
So after those girls found out.
We had an event together. My church group and her sorority.
Yeah.
We had like a social.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working. I was security for it.
Yeah.
And in the forum / two dogs is the upstairs portion. There's like an upstairs portion to 3 dogs, and that's where like security stands to see the crowd. And I had her up by me, and I guess like they paused the music and said "fuck you" if you're fake or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they said some shit like
we didn't know. We were
yeah.
like talking like it's so
We
funny
had-
and
yeah.
ironic that we were like laughing together
Yeah.
and kissing and like talking while they paused the music and said "fuck you" if
We
you're
had-
real or some shit.
We had no idea. Literally, like we literally had no idea what was going on. Like everyone was staring at us, but we literally had no idea what was going on.
So the next day, somebody told
Yeah,
Jordan.
The next day, someone was like, my sorority sister was like, "Dude, like, did you hear what they said to you?" I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And they told me. I was like, I was just like, "What?"
It's just so funny because literally we were like laughing and like talking about some other shit while they were doing that, and we didn't even know.
Yeah, and that's what's like funny. Like if they ever listen to this, like you thought you had it, but you didn't.
Which we know they are.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it's just crazy to think what happened and like what those girls, you know, put me through. But honestly, it was Furman helped me through it. Like I would have never been able to be as strong as I was without him.
Because it didn't matter.
Yeah.
I was like, this does not fucking matter.
He just made me realize what should and shouldn't matter, and like if those were my real friends that they would have supported me, and they didn't.
Right.
Reasons why I have 2 friends,
But
Olivia
it's
and
okay
Bree.
because it's all over and done with, and we're here, and they're there doing whatever the fuck they do.
Yeah. Like we are literally engaged in Austin, Texas, living in Austin, Texas.
Shout out Austin, Texas.
Like you know, like what can those girls say? Like we're
They can
literally-
talk shit
yeah.
and probably say I'm fat or talk shit about you. I don't give a fuck. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. They can say whatever the fuck they want. Anyone can say whatever the fuck they want. I don't care. I sleep like a goddamn baby at night.
Mhm.
Not really because I have sleep problems, but like I don't think about that when I go to bed.
That's why it's 12:13
It is fucking midnight 13.
and we're wide awake.
Yeah. We're going to watch Planet of the Apes 2 after this.
Yeah.
But this is a good place to end the podcast. Next episode will be part 2 of our life and
Where we're at now.
where we're at, where we're going, and we'll keep going from this part after our first date, and we'll keep going. This was fucking awesome. This is way easier than I thought. Once you're in it, it just
Yeah.
flows. If you're thinking about starting a podcast, fucking do it. This is so much fun.
It is.
Literally.
And I love just reliving our life.
Yeah, literally.
It's fun talking about it.
I know. And on camera, too.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out. All right. Goodbye, everybody. We love you.
Peace
for
out.
For those that are listening and for those that are not, we fucking love you.
Love you,
Peace
bitches.
out.